Making news now. 2 federal officials face legal troubles in the Cairo housing crisis. North Korea has launched a ballistic missile that reached new heights. The Republicans continue to push their tax plan. Live from Southern Illinois University, this is River Region Evening Edition.
Two former officials with the Southern Illinois Housing Authority face a federal civil fraud complaint accusing them of using public housing money for personal use. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Ryan Davis. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced a complaint today against former Alexander County Housing Authority Executive Directors James Wilson and Martha Franklin. The agency accuses Wilson and Franklin of overstating travel expenses and sometimes double charging the housing authority, including hotel stays in Las Vegas. Breaking news now, one man is hospitalized in St. Louis after being shot by police and an officer is injured. Officials aren't saying what led to the altercation. The suspect's condition hasn't been released, but police don't believe the injuries are life-threatening. One officer suffered injuries from broken glass during the incident. Police are still searching for a second suspect.
A disturbing wake-up call in Marion leads to an uneasy discovery. Sunday night, Marion residents reported hearing 5 gunshots on South 2nd Street. The next morning, a woman found a bullet hole in an exterior wall and a bullet in her living room. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call Marion Police.
The Perry County Sheriff is blaming health care costs for layoffs in his department. Sheriff Steve Barris says forcing jail inmates off of Medicaid is inflating his costs, as the county has to pick up for the tab for their care. That's led to cutbacks in the Sheriff's Department. Barris says 3 part-time deputies have been let go and 2 full-time deputies assigned to part-time status. So I've been noticing it's a bit hot for like November weather, like even though we're that close to winter and everything.
And at the first week of December, let's take a first look at weather with Madeline Parker.
Well, tonight it is going to be dropping down to 48 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow morning it'll be dropping further into 43 degrees with cloudy skies, but about around midday, those clouds will be running away with the sun shining bright and warming up to 57 degrees. For our headlines, we have some possible showers coming in. We're going to see that we're going to have some high winds. We'll see our 5-day forecast and more.
U.S. Congressman Luis Gutierrez says he's done. Gutierrez will leave Congress in January of 2019. He served 13 terms in the House, representing part of the inner city of Chicago and some of the western suburbs. The Democrat says that he still plans to fight for immigration reform and advocate for Puerto Rico, his former home. Greek life is taking a pause at one Indiana university. The Indiana University Student Greek voted unanimously to suspend fraternities until next spring. This decision will not include campus sororities. IU will be the 7th university to suspend Greek life activities over concern about student safety. 4 fraternity pledges have died this year.
The popular ride-hailing service Uber is being sued by both the city of Chicago and Cook County. The city and the county say Uber's 2016 data breach harmed tens, if not hundreds of thousands of area residents. The city and county are seeking a $10,000 fine for each violation involving a Chicago resident. Uber also faces lawsuits from consumers. Want some horsey sauce with your wings? The company that owns Arby's is buying another popular restaurant. Roark Capital is buying Buffalo Wild Wings for $2.9 billion. The deal will take Buffalo Wild Wings private and join Arby's, Jimmy John's, and Auntie Anne's under the same corporate roof.
This holiday season, you better watch out for dangerous toys. According to a recent report, items harmful to your kids may be stocked on store shelves.
Evening Edition reporter Colin Dorsey explains what to watch out for in today's Consumer Watch.
As you search for the perfect present and check items off your holiday lists, the U.S. Public Interest Research Group Education Fund has a warning. Beware of dangerous and potentially deadly toys. According to the Trouble in Toyland report, this fidget spinner has more than 300 times the legal limit for lead in children.
Especially in children, it can lower IQ, cause behavioral problems, and so it's a huge problem that there was that much lead available on store shelves.
The product has since been recalled, and the report states the biggest hazard involves small children and small toy parts.
Choking hazards are actually the leading cause of recalls as well as deaths, unfortunately.
To see if a toy is safe, use a toilet paper roll. If the part fits into the roll, it's too small for kids ages 3 and younger. So be aware when you shop and keep kids' safety in mind. For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Colin Dorsey.
Ahead on Evening Edition, Republicans are working hard to pass their tax plan.
And North Korea launched a missile that reached new heights. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. New this evening, North Korea fired a ballistic missile today, one that may have been problematic than previous launches. Experts say the latest launch proves Washington, D.C. may now be within North Korea's reach. The missile flew 620 nautical miles, but traveled 2,800 miles in the air before coming down in the Sea of Japan. That's higher than any previous launch. The president says he's still not worried.
We will take care of it. We have General Mattis in the room with us, and we've had a long discussion on it. It is a situation that we will handle.
Experts say the trajectory of the missile was lofted, but if it had been standard, it could have flown 8,100 miles farther than the distance between North Korea's capital and Washington. For the first time since the Cold War, Hawaii will test a nuclear warning system to alert residents of missile strikes. This comes after the latest missile launch from North Korea. The warning gives Hawaiians an estimated 20 minutes to seek shelter before impact.
President Trump went to Capitol Hill today in an effort to push the Republican tax reform plan across the finish line.
Omar Jimenez has this report from Washington on the state of play of the Republican tax reform plan.
A crucial final stretch for tax reform on Capitol Hill.
It's a challenging exercise. Think of sitting there with a Rubik's Cube, trying to get to 50. And we do have a few members who have concerns, and we're trying to address them.
It's why President Trump's meeting GOP senators at their weekly closed-door policy lunch Tuesday, trying to get what would be a much-needed legislative win over the finish line.
It's an important time for our country. We've come a long way on the Finance Committee to get the bill this far, and I believe we're going to be successful.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell can only afford to lose 2 votes, and at the moment, there are some Republican senators that have concerns about the plan. For example, Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee has expressed concerns about increased deficits this plan would create, but has indicated he will likely vote for the plan.
I was able to work out something that is fairly satisfying to me just a few minutes ago.
As the legislative calendar slowly begins to wind down for the year, the pressure to get tax reform done before 2018 is as high as ever.
If it doesn't do what I think it will do, then we will lose. So we're going to rise and fall on how this affects the American people.
The Senate bill now heads to the floor for a vote, and if it passes, it would still need to be reconciled with the notably different House version before making it to the president's desk. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
The Senate plan must now pass through the Budget Committee and then will be able to reach the floor for a vote.
Earlier today, Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi pulled out of a planned budget meeting with the president. The meeting was to work out a bipartisan spending deal to avoid a federal shutdown. But Trump in a tweet doubted a deal was possible. Schumer says Republicans in Congress may be more interested in talking than the president.
We don't have any time to waste addressing the issues that confront us. So we're going to negotiate with Republican leaders who may actually be interested in reaching a bipartisan agreement.
The government runs out of funding December 8th. President Trump said today that he would absolutely blame the Democrats if the government did shut down. Congress must negotiate a budget deal before then to keep government operations going and handle other top priorities. President Trump is once again under fire after referring to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas during a White House event yesterday honoring Native American World War II veterans. Trump has used a jab before to go after Warren, who has said she's part Native American. Warren originally had no comment on the matter, but later made a statement.
He thinks that somehow he's going to shut me up with that. And it's just not going to happen. It didn't work in the past. It's not going to work in the future.
Senator John McCain criticized the comment in a tweet saying that politicizing these genuine American heroes is an insult to their sacrifice. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said the use of Pocahontas was not a racial slur, and that it certainly was not the president's intent to use a racial slur.
Many clients of Massage Envy spas are reporting inappropriate behaviors from their employees. A BuzzFeed News report found that 180 people have filed sexual misconduct complaints against the franchise's spas, employees, and the national company. The same report said those who complained filed sexual assault lawsuits and police reports. Massage Envy says that complaints span more than 15 years. Millions of Americans have trouble falling asleep and staying asleep every day.
If you're one of those millions of people, Evening Edition's Jeremy Sneed has some tips for treating insomnia in today's Health Minute.
Are you having trouble sleeping? If you are, you may be one of the estimated 50 to 70 million American adults who suffer from a sleep and wakefulness disorder. The most common? Insomnia, where a person fails to initiate or maintain sleep. This may also take the form of waking up too soon, in which an individual wakes up several hours before they should and can't get back to sleep. The Center for Disease Control suggests 7 or more hours of sleep for adults between the ages of 18 and 60 years old. If you don't, it could affect your overall health. Here are some things you can do to improve your sleep health. Be consistent. Go to bed at the same time each day and get up at the same time as well. Make your bedroom cozy, quiet, and dark. Turn those smartphones, tablets, and TVs off too. If you need a little white noise, try a fan, and avoid caffeine before bedtime. With today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Sneed.
Have been a bit above average for this time of year, but will they stay that way?
And it was a good day for the 3 major indices as they all closed up. Make sure to stay tuned for the nightly business report on WSIU at 5:30.
Cloudy with 59 degrees. For our lows, Wednesday will be 45, Thursday will be 32, and on Friday and Saturday we'll both have a low of 34.
So even going into like the first couple days of December, we're staying in the 50s.
Yeah, but it's really unusual that tomorrow will be 60, even though it's the end of November. It's crazy weather.
Where is the snow at? Where is?
Hey, don't be talking about snow.
I don't think it's going to be coming anytime soon, though.
I need some snow. Well, thank you, Madeline. And here's Madison Case with sports.
Coming up in sports, 2 Saluki football players received MVC honors, and the Saluki women's basketball team faced a local rival. We're back in 90 seconds. Tune in this Thursday for the final Saluki Sports View of the season. We reach new heights with the SAU Climbing Club. Saluki Sports View can be seen on WSIU this Thursday from 5 to 5:30.
And it sounds like you got a lot coming up for Saluki Sports View this week.
We do. We have a game tomorrow with the men's team, SIUE, tomorrow night at 7, home game. And we also have another home game Saturday at 3.
Quite a busy schedule.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Madison. And coming up, Madeline says some showers could be on the way. We'll have the 5-day forecast after the break. But first, the Grammy nominations are out. Find out who made the cut next.
Plus, the Lights Fantastic Parade returns to Carbondale. Details next. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. The 60th annual Grammy Awards nominations were announced earlier today. Rap and R&B artists as well as streaming patterns heavily influenced nominations. Rapper Jay-Z led the pack with 8 nominations, including Album of the Year. Rapper Kendrick Lamar received 7 nominations, and pop star Bruno Mars received 6, and R&B artist SZA led the female nominations with 5, including Best New Artist. This is the first time in 13 years where country music was not represented in the main categories. The ceremony will air on January 28th on CBS. Well, you better watch out. This Santa has been pumping some iron. Albie Mushaney is a competitive weightlifter from Oregon who goes by Big Bad Santa. And he has gained quite the following. His YouTube fitness videos have been profiled on ESPN and Men's Fitness. In December, he's taking his jolly and jacked approach to fitness in North Carolina. Mushaney says his main motivation for lifting and staying healthy is his family.
I was terribly out of shape, obese, getting beat up by diabetes, and I realized, if I was going to see my kids graduate from high school, I was going to have to lose some weight and get in shape.
Mushaney also launched a charity initiative called Operation Big Bad Santa, which raises money to buy Christmas presents for children of wounded veterans. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Goals right there.
Yeah, Big Bad Santa, watch out.
I can barely lift 10 pounds, so that's pretty impressive.
I think I need to just go to the gym. Just to be real.
Either way.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, as the holidays get closer, so do the celebrations. Carbondale's annual Lights Fantastic Parade returns this Saturday. The parade will shut down part of Mill Street as well as Illinois Avenue. Buses will transport patrons from several locations throughout Carbondale. The parade starts at 6 Saturday evening.
So how's the weather looking for the parade?
Well, this week it's going to be 61 on Wednesday, 55 on Thursday, 53 on Friday, and on Saturday it'll be 61 and Sunday it'll be 59. So it's going to cool down about Thursday and Friday, but it'll be warming up back by the weekend. For the lows, it'll be 45 on Wednesday, 32 on Thursday, and 34 for the lows for Friday and Saturday. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't really feel like late November weather.
It doesn't feel like the Christmas
I
time.
can't complain though. I don't like winter, so I'm loving these temperatures.
Winter clothes though, what am I going to do with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to wearing some sweaters, a big heavy coat. I was really looking forward to it.
I'm going to be
Well,
burning
I
up
guess
every
you're
time
not.
I walk outside. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for the Nightly Business Report, followed by PBS NewsHour. Also, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. Our webpage is riverregionnews.wordpress.com. I'm Ryan Davis.
And I'm Jacob Gordon for Madeline Parker, Madison Case, and our awesome producer, Kyler Giebert, who's leaving us, and all the students who work on the Tuesday edition of Evening Edition. Have a good night.